Hello, everyone. So, for today's topic, we're going to be talking about three things to do or think about when thinking about making a career shift. I've been down this path a few times where I contemplated going into a different field or a different function, industry. And these are three things that I did do and what I recommend you all doing as well. So, the first one is to do an informal interview. And if you're not familiar with an informal interview, it's just like a casual interview over coffee or lunch, but you actually find somebody in that industry or that field that you would like to go into. So I'm going to go into a specific example where I thought about doing a career shift a couple years ago when my company was actually relocating. And so I chose not to relocate and therefore was not going to have a job. So I thought, okay, maybe this is a chance to try something different. As a lot of people in my company also kind of had the same thought, like, hey, maybe this is a time for a change, or we could try this, etc. So there was a field that I was interested in going, but I did go ahead and do an informal interview with somebody that actually had worked in that field for some time. And it was very helpful. I learned a few things. But before I met with her, I actually developed about 10 questions to ask her related to her experience and what it all took to kind of get in there and what does a day look like in her field. And what I learned there is that that particular field at that time was actually not as big as some other functions in these large companies. So a team maybe consisted of 2 or 3 people. Now, once again, I said at a large company because at a smaller company, 2 to 3 people could actually be a lot of people for one particular field. But in a large company, that really isn't that many people. So it kind of makes you, think like, okay, you might have to do multiple things, wear many different hats, which I was kind of used to because I came from a division where we kind of had to do that. It's very good because you learn a lot of things and, you kind of work with a lot of people. But anyways, I digress. So I was like, okay. Also at that time, that particular field, I don't think there was a lot of room for growth either, because there was maybe only 2 or 3 roles, as I think a lot of these companies were still building out that field. So that was something else that, I hadn't thought about. Then, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give it a go. Like, I'll try it out, why not? So I actually applied for 10 different jobs and I didn't even get a phone interview. And I was like, oh, like, okay, this is not going to be that easy. Or like, I don't, it's going to be more challenging than I had anticipated. So, um, I was like, okay. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that my whole resume and my whole background has been in sales. Because a couple of the rejection letters that I did get said, we're looking for somebody with more experience or experience in this field, etc. So that kind of brings me to point number 2. I would say research jobs in that field that you're looking to get into or that function and see what is the skill set that they're looking for or certifications or programs that the ideal candidate would have. I'd also say try to also look at like entry level positions, and that kind of just goes from another career shift that I wanted to do in another particular field. I was going to probably have to do more of an entry level. So kind of look at that. So like if I don't know, let's say you want to go into coding, maybe like a boot camp or certification or something, or like if you want to go into marketing, digital marketing per se, you might need to, have like search engine optimization skills. that type of thing. So I would definitely look into that. And then the last thing would be also become involved with organizations related to your field that you would like to go into. Volunteer, right? Try to get some experience, because it might not be what you think it is, right? But you won't actually know that until you get maybe some type of experience. And not only that, but it will also help build up your resume, right? So they'll see like, oh, okay, this person was in this field, but now they're trying to get over here, even though most of their background is in this function. I do see that they have some volunteer experience, or they're on a board, so that might be what gets your foot in the door. So if you are thinking of making a career shift, those are the 3 things that I would do. Once again, do an informal interview with somebody in that industry or field that you're trying to get into. Research jobs for that field, see what are the skill sets, certifications that they're looking for. And lastly, volunteer, get involved on boards or networking events, whatnot related to that field. If you need more help with this though, and you would like some guidance, I do sessions, 1-hour sessions, or we could do 3 1-hour sessions. If you go to my website, you can see more of that. And I would actually do a consultation first, just to make sure, like we're a right fit for one another. All right. Hope this all helped you all.